Did you know alcohol-related crashes cost more than $51 billion annually? This includes those who drove drunk as well as those innocent victims who unfortunately were hit by the drivers. It doesn't take much for you to become drunk. Just as little as 3 beers for a 180-pound person can get your alcohol blood content, or BAC, so blood alcohol content, into the legal limit, which is 0.8 for, I believe, in every state to be considered legally drunk. As far as women versus men go, women do take less time to become drunk, so therefore weight, gender, and your height all go into what your BAC level would actually entail. So instead of 3 beers, it might be 2, it might be 4. It differs from every person, but you need to know your limit, especially when you're considering getting behind the wheel at the end of the night. So what are the consequences of driving drunk? As far as the law goes, it's not something you want to mess with. Whether it's an MIC, minor in consumption, to being behind the wheel and getting caught, which would be a DUI, driving under the influence. It has many things that can be consequences of. Here in Kansas, you can seek jail time, losing your license up to a year. On top of that, you could get community service, take classes, have an evaluation to see if you're alcohol independent, as well as having a lot of money come out of your pocket. This may sound crazy, but even if you just, you're out and about at a party, you could be saying, hey, I don't want to drive home, but I want to go sit in my car with the radio on. Well, here in Kansas, if a cop pulls you over, you can get ticketed for a DUI if you're just having the car on with the radio but not the engine, and you're drunk behind the wheel. That would be considered drunk driving. My good friend Adam Runyon was drinking one evening down by Silver Lake, Kansas, which is just west of Topeka. He then had a designated driver to take him home, but the designated driver left the keys in the car and ran back into the party to grab something. Unfortunately, Adam slid over into the driver's seat and decided to drive himself home. He, on his way home, went over the road on a curve and hit the ditch and killed himself instantly. That's a personal story that hits home to me whenever I think or hear someone's drinking and driving. It just really hurts. Another story that many people know about is Jacqueline. She is also known as the girl with no face. She was severely burned after a car crash one evening in college when her car was hit by a drunk driver. She's been on Oprah, and her story is very well used to the best of the ability of the situation to get the point across of what the consequences of drinking and driving are. As I said before, how hard it was for me when Adam passed the way he did, the emotional effects, whether you were a part of the accident from either end, or you knew the drunk driver, or you knew the people in the car that possibly had an accident in. No matter what, it hurts. Everyone is affected by it. So there's organizations out there like MADD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Some high schools call it SADD, S-A-D-D, Students Against Drunk Driving, and it's an organization that stands up against drunk driving and is one of many organizations that does so to make people aware of the consequences of driving drunk. Now, there are alternatives besides getting behind the wheel. I don't recommend it at all. I wouldn't even get it behind the wheel if you had 2 drinks, because your mind is messed up some way when alcohol is involved, even if you don't realize it. A DD, a designated driver, is always a great tool. Count on a friend But if you know that friend drinks, don't count on them. Bring someone you know that you can trust. You can ask for a ride home from someone who didn't drink, or call a taxi. Trust me, the $35 to get home is far better than losing your life. You can spend the night where you go. Many parties, I guess you could say, have extra beds, a floor. Just stay where you're at if you're under the influence and you have no way to get home. But as far as for college students, I go to Kansas State University, and at Kansas State we have this thing called Safe Ride. I know at KU they have something with the bus system as well. Safe Ride will pick you up 2 blocks away from campus, or 2 miles, I believe, and will take you to 2 miles past across campus, or to your dorm, or to your apartment, just to make sure that you get home safely. And I believe KU does the same thing, from Mass Street to KU to your apartment. So many colleges offer opportunities where you don't have to drive home drunk. Therefore, I'm going to end with this. Question the next time you get behind the wheel. Are you capable of driving? How much have you drank? Do I really want to risk my life tonight? So remember, when you do drive drunk, which you shouldn't, I ask that you don't, you aren't only putting yourself at risk, you're also putting those around you at risk. On your way home, your family, even if you make it home and they find out, it's an emotional toll, and it's just not a very smart decision. So make smarter choices, choose life over death, because the consequences of one night can change your life forever.